Always waiting to be disrespected. One of the many things of being black. It's not a question of will it happen, it's when. And we are so much stronger than that. Much more than Frederick Douglass and slaves and Martin Luther King. Why would we respect each other? If we think black culture is simply that and material things and selling drugs and shooting people, why would anyone respect us with a history footnote such as that? Do some research. Read some W.E.B. Du Bois. Become inspired by Maya Angelou, Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X, and how not many people know how evolved he truly was when he died, speaking of unity. These are stories of those who look like you, soak up self-knowledge, and teach others. I guarantee more respect than you ever had from being harmed. That wasn't real respect anyway. That was more either fear or people just kissing your butt. It's not the same. It feels different. And I'm not saying none of you are or aren't doing anything I just mentioned. I'm just speaking in general. If the shoe fits, wear it. Otherwise, no reason to be offended. If it don't apply, let it fly. I just beg you to realize our present barriers and show this community who we really are rather than let Fox News show them for us. Because you don't want that. Trust me, you don't want that. Being misunderstood is not good. It makes you feel like an outcast, and none of you are outcasts. You're here for a reason. Not just school, not just work. You're here to teach this community. To learn about new communities yourself and how to thrive in them through interaction. Going out of your comfort zone. And I ain't just talking about going out of your comfort zone by kicking with females. I mean starting conversations in the line at a store. Try to look approachable. Smile. Don't walk around with music playing on your phone loud as hell. That one I ain't seen for a while. I gotta admit, I haven't seen that, but now everybody got cell phones. But, I mean, headphones don't make you too approachable either. And I gotta make it clear again, I'm not saying change who you are. Never do that, ever. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying be who you were meant to be. Well-versed in the art of humanity. All the while learning so many beautiful and proud stories from your ancestors and how they really contributed to society and its advancements in every department. And I promise you'll grow. And like I said, what I say to you, I'm saying to me. Little story. The little black boy watched a man blow up balloons one day. When each balloon was filled, the man let each one float away. The little boy watched patiently, waved each one goodbye. As all the pretty bright balloons went drifting toward the sky, he asked the man if black balloons would go up like the rest. The man said, son, I'll blow it up and put it to the test. And when the black balloon was filled, they watched it rise and glide. It's not the colors, son, but what you got inside. And I say that because, for obvious reasons, but it's also a message to people in school districts, people in any position of power that have these kids looking up to them and asking them questions or coming to them with issues. That's the attitude you have to have. You have to uplift, you have to recognize their differences and uplift, not just shoo them away. And you think you're doing good by saying, oh, it's just them, they're bad kids, just never mind them. No, you get them kids over there and you address it right then and there and you hash it out. And you let them know if it keeps happening, this is what's going to happen. Otherwise, you're just condoning it. Now, I didn't just come here to say what's wrong. I came here to offer solutions and to hear you guys offer solutions. My idea, also I got to say something that really disgusts me. I don't know why I didn't say it before, but about a year ago, a young boy committed suicide, I'm sure you're all aware, because of the color of his skin and because he was getting messed with at school. Now, he went to school members. He did what he was supposed to do. Went to the people in power. He ended up killing himself. They were telling him, go home, nigger. Don't drink out of that drinking fountain, nigger. Knocking his books down, messing with him every day. This is a learning environment. This is disgusting. Now, this kid killed himself. The mother takes action, thank God, and attempt to hold the school responsible, which they were. When a child is in the care of the school, you are responsible. And their reaction was, oh, she's just trying to sue us or whatever, bring charges against us because we suspended her son 3 years ago. Because he brought heart medication to school, said it was something else, and sold it to a kid. Okay, first of all, that's 3 years ago. So what the hell has that got to do with him being dead right now and why he's dead? I'll tell you what it has to do with it. It's distancing yourself from the situation because you don't want to look negligent. You know you're responsible. So you won't want to look negligent. So what do? You automatically put the spotlight on the victim and you investigate the victim, which is disgusting. And they found, the county attorney found that no charges need to be filed. Okay, whatever. I really don't know the dynamics of specific things that were said, but I know people are distancing themselves. If anything, okay, maybe there wasn't enough evidence to convict these kids. Let's just say that. At least can we learn from this child's death, or do we just let the death go in vain? Or do we learn from it and as a community grow and implement systems, standard protocols into every school? There's no tolerance for racism. Now obviously it depends on what age and what degree, but I can be telling preschool kids that, oh, you say this skin's ugly, get the hell out of here. You know, it depends on each level, because of each level of maturity, how developed their minds are, why they're doing it, what they said. So yeah, it's a case-by-case basis, but we don't just dismiss it totally. This death should be a learning experience, and it should make this community implement new programs to prevent it from happening again. Bullying, what they did about bullying, this is bullying on a whole nother level. It seems like there's no tolerance for bullying. There's no tolerance at schools for messing with gays and lesbians. But what about just messing with kids for the fact that the color of the skin's different? And tell them they ain't shit. What about that? I just don't understand. It just disgusts me that a community, or not a community, that the people in charge would distance themselves from this. So what I want something implemented in the schools. I want something, and I want volunteers from the community. Any minority who has been through this crap. Because yes, don't get me wrong, I loved it. I'm sure a lot of you white people would like to volunteer too. But this kid needs to see somebody, not necessarily that looks exactly like them, but somebody that can say, hey, I went through this. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to think. Not just, oh, never mind. Focus on your schoolwork. You'll be out of school in 12 years. You know? They need that. And that's a peer. That's a delegated peer to walk them through this and follow up with them and make sure that, okay, how's the school treating you now? Somebody following up. That's what I want for the community. And then I just can't say enough with social media. We got to be careful. Let's be sensitive. Let's think about other people. Before you post something, think about everybody. And I'm telling myself this too, because I just got a lesson from this the other day. Think about everybody. And I don't go too much into it, you know, because something can't offend everybody. But use that moral fiber. And that's about it.
Well, that was a lot of information there. Good job, Samson. Samson is interested in talking about this stuff. We do have a bit of time left for some questions. And I know some of you may want to talk to Samson afterwards, as well as you might have other ideas of where Samson can have these types of discussions. So keep that in mind as well. So thoughts, comments, questions for Samson? And what did you think? Yes, in the back?
My question is, I have several adopted kids who are adopted, and looking around at professionals in the community, how can we bring so that I can bring my child to a doctor that looks similar to her, especially my child with very dark skin, and all of the pictures of rashes or insect bites or whatever are white skin. And so I have no idea how to look for or identify those kind of things, and wondering how we can bring that kind of thing into the community for my kids.
That's a good point. And that's a point, you know, I bet a lot of us don't think about. And an excellent question for people in the medical community. So some of these questions, you know, I don't have the magic answer for that, but there might be people here tonight who have suggestions on how we can improve that. Samson?
Start with a phone call. That's how I started everything. Start calling them and tell them that. You know? Because you're saying, basically, it's just a matter of pictures, right?
Just anything, I mean, like, I can't go to the clinic,
And have a, something,
all the doctors are white.
something to
You
go.
know, family doctors, there's no.
I mean, that just comes into a, I don't think we got too many black folks here or minorities here applying to be doctors.
So that's just it.
So first we gotta get them here.
Yeah, I mean, how do you do that? Is that socially appropriate to recruit, you know, African-American doctors, American doctors, or anything, you know, that's socially appropriate to
I think-
let those people down to get them here?
I think first we have to make this, because people know about this community. People hear bad things about it. There's a shadow cast over this community. People are going out of their way not to come here, not to get jobs here, because of this topic we're talking about right now. So that's what I'm saying. We're missing out on doctors. We're missing out on teachers. Other people who contribute to the community in beautiful ways. And that shadow that's cast ain't fair to all of you who came here tonight who don't think like everybody else. Why are the jerks louder than you? If you're truly the majority, why is your voice so quiet and all the jerks driving around the street saying stuff, whatever, or doing this, treating kids in school, why are they so loud? Like, we have to be louder. We have to make more of a noise. That's what it boils down. That's what I think. To get them here.
My name is Charles Harrison, and some of you might know me from Home Depot. Hey, Charles. But I would like to say that when he mentioned about people asking why you're up here, I get asked that so many times that I'm going to print out a card that I can hand out and tell everybody why I'm up here. And as far as the racial aspect, I deal with that every day. Every day, people come in and they think that I am not qualified to help them. And the ironic part about it is they'll go to some other associate, and the associate says, well, go ask Charles, because he knows. So, and I can tell you, I've been all over this country and other countries, and I can tell you stories that will bore you forever because they go on for so long about the situations that I've been in with the Ku Klux Klan, the White Citizens Council, and I've pulled myself through all of it. And I've never been afraid because I know how to handle myself and have no hard feelings toward anybody, white, black, Mexican, Indian, or whatever, because I'm in the middle of all of that mixed up. So some of the stuff that he talked about, I have, most of it, I have experienced, been through, and I'm here.
Thank you.
So many of you don't know me, I'm Archie Davis. I came from Duluth, Minnesota. Took the drive because I said, and I was inspired by a story. I had to critique him a little bit of some things he talked about, just so he delivered the message that he needs to deliver. I'm a community activist, organizer, leader, founder, you name it, and and this is my specialty, working around these things, questions like this. Recruitment can't happen, but it takes a community to make it work. And this also talks about education, and you need multicultural centers. The basic do what they need to do there, work with them, just like that population. But all of you, I guess at some point you gotta learn to set your biases aside, become more open-minded when it comes to African American, Native American, and women in our community. Our children, they need us more now today than ever. And we can't ignore them. So when we talk about recruitment, your city councilors, your mayors can do this work and get doctors in this area. They can bring black educators. I serve on citizen review boards. I work with the chief of police. We now have 2 black police officers, a Native and Latino that works on the police force. I was part of the interviewing process. We can make anything happen. I heard about the suicide here. I waited to believe. I heard about an 8th grader that they wanted to file terrorist threats for because he was racially impacted by natives. Not one of the educators did one thing about it, but yet they were quick to charge. So we talk about the school to prison pipeline. You're setting them up for criminalization. Is that what you want your kids to do? Something you really have to think about. I can walk around in any store, I'm followed. Driving the streets, I'm followed. What I love about Duluth, when they follow me and they run my license plate they back me off. You know why? Because I work with the police department. But I shouldn't have to have that privilege. I should be able to just drive the streets like anybody else, live my life, I pay my taxes. I came here dressed as I would call me fire, even though I'm a professional. I work with people with disability. I work throughout this entire state, including the midget. I'm known as the famous artist the reason why because I bring you facts. I'm telling you some true stories, just like you did. And I wanted him to share the story so that you get the real picture of what anyone of color in this room goes through. Whether they walk into school, it's about the way they dress, the phones they carry. We have a problem with driver's license there. African Americans, Native Americans don't have driver's license. I know what the statistics are here, but it's $385. I moved from Chicago to Racine, Milwaukee to Ashland. I hated Ashland. You know why? Because it was a very remote town. You couldn't leave your house and say, and you didn't talk to anybody, so how would they know you? But yet, police tell me I need to get off the street. How many did you guess I was going to have? Anyway, well, yes, I was going to have
4835.
I compliment you. I'm 51 years old. And when the guy tells me I need to get off the streets because he thinks I'm underage, there's a problem. I deal with prostitution. Freshmen coming into college, being raped by sororities. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the natives who are being thrown in border schools and raped and beaten and whatever else. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody talks about the silence of white women that are abused by their husbands and boyfriends. Nobody talks about that. And then we want to mock the Asians, Somali. Who are we? Where's our privilege? When we talk about power, that's what I'm going to build this Senate. So you're going to see a lot more from me here in this city, helping him to grow and building coalitions and helping him build his power to change it.
Behind you, and then Gary, you're next.
I'm a third generation Iron Ranger. My mother came from Finland. The Iron Range is probably the most interesting social experiment that's ever happened in the United States. Having at 40 nationalities over in Europe, they're killing each other most of the time. But on the Iron Range, they all seem to have some kind of get-together, and it was a nice place to grow up in. I wouldn't have wanted to grow up any other place, and when I look back upon it now, you know, it was really great meeting all these different people, and you know, that were different from the others.
So you've had a good experience with that. All right. All right. Gary is speaking right now here in the front row. And then Carolyn, you can be next.
A lot of you know that I write editorials. A lot of times I don't have an easy time speaking in public. That's one of the reasons why I write. I took notes. I could probably give a seminar on this myself. I've been writing about this topic probably 20 years now. As you know, I'm white. What? And that means that it's not going to be easy for me to empathize with being black or Native American or female. But that's not the issue. The real issue is being, and you said it, the real issue is being different from the power structure. When you have a patriarchal system where usually it's white males in power, if you're different from the white males, there's automatically something wrong with you. You are automatically less than. And that sets up the power structure immediately. So racism in itself, and all isms for that matter, are all forms of discrimination. Even though I can't empathize with being black or Native American or female, I can empathize with being discriminated against. I was bullied from 5th grade all the way to the end of high school for being different from the kids in the class I was in. I was bullied by my dad because I was different than my dad. All of these forms of isms are based on being